How y'all doing today? Um, Here to make this video about cutting the supports off. There we go. Cutting the supports off the cab. Right. So usually, if you put pressure on here and you try to cut, it it'll break. But we don't want that to happen. We don't want to break any of this stuff. So here's one, and you got to get you a set of these, right? Obviously mine's broke at the tip, but get you a set of these, right? So then what you want to do is you want to take the mirrors off first. So there's one there, and then you want to, if you can see what I'm doing, is right at the back of the cab. You see how this arch here? So you want to like put that right up against the cab and cut, right? Just like that. So let me just show you. So you gotta be really gentle. This stuff is just coming off like no problem. And now if you go inside, see that one right there? So once again, this part up against the top of the cab, no pressure. You just lightly cut it like that. See that? Gone. You see it? There's a little nub there, but you can always get that out. No worries. Right? That's not a big deal. You can always get that out. So once you get the mirrors cut off, see how it wants to go in, right? See the pressure, how it wants to go in. So what you do is you don't want to do that. You just want to not put pressure on it and just let it cut it, right? Not put pressure, let it cut it, just like that. So now you have the door exposed. See these doors? They're exposed. So basically now your point to grabbing it is now, this is your working area for now. Everything that is around there is your working area. Now when you get to the grill, see that one where the grill is? Right? When you get to that grill, same thing. You put it right up against it, the grill, and you cut it. See that? So then, sorry, my desk is high and I have a high chair, but I don't have it like this high, right? I need to get a booster seat. I'm just joking. So anyway, and then you just, until you're satisfied with the results. So right up underneath, you're going to want to cut that, right? Underneath there, but don't cut that yet. See these outside here around the lights, right? You want to trim these first, right? Sometimes you got to go to the bottom. Go to the bottom to separate it. It's very tedious work. You're going to want to rush through it. Don't rush through it. Set it down. Say, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's a little bit tough, but let me take a break. Take a break, go do something else or whatever, whatnot, and you come back. And when you come back, you have a better understanding about how you want to cut this, right? Shoot. Move that. Okay. So, there we go. Right here. So, this one over here. Cut down at the bottom. There, you see how it just came right off? So it's more of a tedious task. See, now I can cut that, because if I would have cut it up here while it was attached to here, it would have broke this. and you don't want it would have the grill would have broke, and you don't want to do that. So you want to put as less pressure on the actual pieces that are thin, because these are accurate. These are accurate pieces. I mean, like, if this was steel, then you throw the insulation behind it, right? The door insulation and paneling and all of that. This is what the shell would be, right? So you got to keep that in mind. Now, as you continue, you see this one is attached to here. If I cut it up here, it's going to break it. So what I want to do is I want to get it down here and get the pressure off. See, the pressure is now off it. So now I can just go, oh, hold on, I got a couple of more in here. Okay. So now the pressure is off it, right? So then what I do is I go right up under it. Make sure it touches. Right here. Can't even. There. That's where my target is, right there. So what you want to do is you want to raise this up right up against it. See how I have it against it? Against the grill. The bottom of the grill. And you just give it a snap. See that? Gone. Now you have a little bit there, and you can just slowly work that away. Right? Now the rest of it, you just now you can just go at it, right? So once you get past that, then you see how everything is just now just coming off. It's just coming off. The back side, you got to be very careful about the back side, right? Because I made a couple of mistakes on the back side. So you got to be very cautious about this. So the back side, I'm sorry, I'm not used to cameras, right? I just built. I'm not used to cameras. So, forgive me for being all over the place. So back side, right? Long one. Cut it anywhere. Right? Cut the top up here because this is where the tight structure is, but you want to get it right up against the top there, like that, right? And then you want to cut down towards the bottom here, right? Like that. See that? Up top, a little bit, no pressure. Just let it lean up against the top, no pressure. Up against the top of the hood. See that? The windowsill. No pressure. Then you come down here, down to where it's linked. Cut it, cut it, cut it. Gone. Now, like I said, I put pressure on the back here. I put a lot of pressure. This was way before that. And as you can see, I'm not the smartest tool. So the inside, no problem, gentle inside. Now you might need something a little bit longer with that's a cutter, but longer, to reach in here and cut those, right? So, but what I do is up at the front, what you do is you fit it where it can, tight up against the top of it, tight up against the top of it, tight up against the top of it, and you just keep doing that until you get some results. And you can't do any damage inside, right? But you can do damage to this if you're not careful, right? And I'll give you an example. You see that? That's from my big hands, right? Now my hands shake a lot, so that's another reason why I'm not as on point as I used to be. There's a lot of people out there who know what happened, and to elaborate, a few years back, I was coming from a show, and a kid, or a young adult, right? Can't call him a kid. A young adult stole a car from a sister, and ran into the back of me and my wife, and I was driving. And I mean, you try to drive a, a Nissan Sentra, and and I'm a big guy, right? I mean, I'm not small by no means, right? And the car is small, so I just about hit everything in the inside of the car, right? That's how bad it was. Anyway, back to this. Don't want to get in that. But anyway, oh, sorry. So then I start having seizures and stuff like that. So I still have them, but they're not as often as they were before. And it sucks because this isn't a genetic thing. This is what happens, And some doctors like to push it off or whatever. But if you ever been in a car accident and you have seizures, there's something wrong. So and the doctors try to sidestep it so that they don't have to you know deal with it, because it's a long drawn out process, but they want money now, not later, right? So anywho, and here in Canada you can't sue like that, so sucks. But anyway, so now here we go. So as I'm talking, I'm just cutting. I'm just cutting where it needs to be cut it lightly. You see this? 2 fingers, blah 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 on the door. No pressure on the door, please, because it is light. So right in the tight spaces, you're gonna grab. God, I wish this camera was bigger. You're gonna grab here, right here, under the wheel well, and on the other side of the wheel well. And then you're going to use that to do this, right? So watch this, right? This is how easy and simple it is. I want y'all to watch. See, ones that you want to get right up to the edge. See that? Right up to the edge, right? Right up in there. Pull that out. There. Mud flaps, don't need those because you can always rebuild those. Here. Right under the wheel well. Get in there. Alright, see that? You're just getting in there, just cutting. Everything in there you're cutting. Everything in there you're cutting. Boom. Remember we waited to cut that? We waited to cut that, so now we cut it. Boom. Guess what? Done. Just like that. Just a couple of things. And this happens but you can always, when this happens, right? So what you do is you just take a thing, run it through there, straighten it out, right? So you straighten it out, see that? So you're straightening it out. So sometimes you might have to put a piece of plastic in between there for now. Don't glue it, just slide it in there, a little piece of plastic, because what happens is because the moisture, this is what happens. But as you can see, the cab is all clean and all ready to go. So I'll do another video a little bit later, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Peace out. I don't know what to do. I mean, people have an intro like, hey, peace. Oh, see you later. I don't know. Okay. Keep your stick on the road. Is that one? No. Never downshift. Never downshift. Stay in the hammer lane. Peace.